All right, y'all. First and foremost, let's give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, and we do so by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. This is the Deacon Sakari. Uh, Jewish Dr. Brown says Gentiles will serve in the kingdom. Let's get into it. Is the PhD scholar correct? Is he speaking from the Bible? Are Gentile Christians going to receive this and accept this? Although not only we've been saying it, but the Bible's been saying it since it's been written. So before we get into that, let's do like how we always do, y'all, and run the intro.
Deacon Sakari, we back at it like a crack addict. They done let them bruise in the dough in this wicked industry to shine the light. They done let them bruise in the dough. Oh shit. They done let them bruise in the dough. Shalom. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. We ain't going nowhere. Hebrews. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. Look, Joe Biden need to free Dark. Lo, the hell is wrong with dude? The whole armor, put it on. Deacon Sakari new clothing line launching right now, y'all. There's a sale going on. We got the most affordable prices, quality material. Stay brew dripping. Sisters get laced up. Children get buttered down. Brothers, go get on. At www.dawholearmor.com. Support Israelite businesses. Stay brew dripping. Shalom. Peace. Cops hop out, we bail on them. Leviticus, I like my fish with scales on them. Ask Chief Ephraim, he could vouch. We be putting in the work while you sitting on the couch. Camp haters quiet as a mouse. Y'all ready? Shout out to my brother Austin Trout. Just as a reminder, if there's doubt, I wear every single fringe, even when I'm in the house. Get all your truth music at deaconsakari.com. That's 9 albums. We even got a couple free for y'all. Support the cause, y'all. I see a lot of haters. I knew it would come with it. Rap game full of evil and sin, and I don't want none of it. They bite my style. They just want to take it and run with it. Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. Come learn how to defend the gospel. Email sakariseattle@gmail.com. Limited registration. Sakari.
We are the children of the one Yahweh.
The chosen.
Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Now everything belongs to us. We above all nations, all nations.
What?
Above all nations, all nations.
Yeah.
We are the chosen of the one Yahweh. Above all nations.
We above. We finally back on. Children's Bibles with black and brown images. I know a lot of y'all been waiting. A lot of people on back order. We still got some though. Put your order in before it's too late. I'm gonna start having them regularly, Lord willing. But get it in, let's go. Hit me up, DM. Even your head wrap, stay dipped, stay brew dripping. All right, deaconsakari.com. All right, y'all. Go to czyn.network. czyn.network. We done with Patreon. No more Patreon. czyn.network. You're going to get videos too hot for YouTube or early releases. So go sign up. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Not only do you get Deacon Sakari's content, you get Guerrilla Hebrew content, Hassad content, other camps putting their content on this platform. We need our own app, so sign up using promo code Deacon Sakari. czyn.network. It's our own app, our own platform. The white man can no longer subvert or hide or try to censor this truth. So sign up and get this heat. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. CZY.
Praises. Get your commercial played here. Contact SakariSeattle@gmail.com.
Heavenly Abba, I'm praying you keep every Judas up out of my face. We got a hunger for scriptures. We eat up the scriptures. I'm praising. I'm scraping the plate. Now hold up. We really keeping the faith. Put in the work every day. Treasure in heaven is safe. How much she about to rise? But if you ain't loving, you stay. You better repent from your ways. Okay, I can get jiggy with this. I'm on a deck with the scripts. We got a fish. You gotta put in your brick. You gotta put in your brick. Put in your brick. Standing for nothing or everything. Your help is shot coming back for revenge. Repeat. I gotta put in my brick. You gotta put in your brick. Put in your brick. The streets in the kingdom paved with gold. We make it to heaven. We gon' be rich. Watching out.
Introducing Super Thanks. YouTube has now added a feature where you can donate if you missed the live show by just clicking the heart button with the thanks on it. It'll be on every video. It'll highlight your comment to bring more attention to your statement. So if it's on your heart, super thanks. Shalom. Have you reached your marital ceiling? Are you experiencing irreconcilable differences, feeling alone with no Israelites near you? We are now offering individual and marriage counseling. We also offer family therapy, career counseling, and trauma therapy. Contact the Deacon Sakari at 442-341-1308. Shalom.
Popping mollies and putting powder in your nostrils. We be in the trenches, needles under benches. We be giving them the gospel. I keep 12 Sakari members with me. We be moving like apostles. True. Some sisters is dead traps, hair rascals, just a latato. The church don't even know the truth. They can even tell you an Israelite. Arabs selling you all the switches and the malt liquor are the Ishmaelites. You can show a nigga slave ships in the Bible, still won't get it right. Until the time's out, then a nigga gotta find out what them missiles like.
All right, y'all. Again, let's give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. And we do so by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. In the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Deacon Destruction Mode. You are now tuned in. So-called Wednesday. New moon feast tonight for those of y'all who keep God's laws. Barakatah to those of you keeping the new moon feast tonight. All praises. So we're going to go for a minute and then we'll probably end it so that we can get into our celebratory activities. I hope everybody's well. Hit that like button, share it. Will the Christians finally agree with the Hebrew Israelites now that Dr. Michael Brown is teaching? I don't know if he's been teaching this. I don't know if, because before the debate with Dr. Brown and Guerrilla Hebrew, I really didn't watch his content like that. I've seen it. I've seen bits of it. Then, of course, we studied him for the debate. And after that, studied him a little bit more. Him and Alazar stayed in contact. I asked Alazar to put me in contact with him. And we have been corresponding via email, me and Dr. Brown. I asked certain questions to understand his doctrine because I believe he can represent their position the best. I'll give him credit for that. He did send me a book, which is going into replacement theology and supersessionism, about how the church claims that the multi-ethnic church has replaced the ethnic Israelites. So every now and then I'll click on his videos, and if I hear something, I might talk about it on here. This was something that I wanted to talk about because most Christian Jews, the Orthodox Jews, they say in the kingdom, each Jew in the kingdom is going to get like 1,000 Gentile slaves. So it's well known and well taught in Jewish orthodoxy that the Messiah, when the Messiah comes back, he's going to give every Jew like 1,000 slaves, right? That's something that's taught in the Jewish community according to their rabbinic literature. But it's not often you hear a Messianic Jew who believes they're Christian first, then Jewish, say that the Gentiles will be serving the Jews in the kingdom of heaven. So I want to play the video, and I want to go into the scripture that he's expounding on. And it says what it says. We cannot try to philosophize, spiritualize it. It's a plain reading of the text. And there's a promise that the Most High made to his people, the Jews. We love Israel. Now, who is Israel? The true Israelites, the true Jews, will be the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's the Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom of Israelites, the true ancient Israelites. Today, those who say they are Jews and are not, according to Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, they are converts from many different Gentile groups, such as the Herodian dynasty or the Herodian family, the Edomite conversion, the Colonimus family conversion, the Khazarian conversion. And so you'll see these people in the land. And we went into this so many times, according to history, archaeology, and prophecy. And that's the reason why there's war over there right now, because the prophecy states that there will be war over there until the true Israelites get back to their land. So according to Luke 21 and 24, the Gentiles would occupy Israel until the arrival of the Messiah. You understand that? So without further ado, let's get into the video. Are the Hebrew Israelites lying on Dr. Brown, our PhD scholarly friend? Or are we just going to play his words and let you guys see if it's right or wrong? But first, I want to say fair use. This is going to be our thoughts and comments on this content. Fair use. This is going to be our thoughts and comments on this content. I need my book, my history of the Jews. My history of the Jews book down there. That's what I usually keep right there. So yeah, everybody, let's hit that. That's good. Yeah. Let's hit that like button and get lituated. Let's get lituated and situated. I'm gonna share my screen. All right. I got it pulled up here. All right. This is a video that he did 6 days ago. 6 days ago. I'm gonna bring myself down here. All right. So it's called A Deep Dive into the End Time Prophecies of Isaiah. We love when our Christian friends attempt to go into eschatological prophecies, because it gives us so much more material to deal with when we're engaging them. Most of the time, they don't know what the hell is going on in end time prophecy. And, you know, the other times they're completely butchering it. And the other times they're exposing their hand and really shooting themselves in the foot. So we love for Christians to go into the Old Testament because they have forgotten about it for 2,000 years. And they've been hiding in the pocket of Paul in the book of Acts, much like a small group of Israelites who I'm not going to name in this broadcast. Oh, Mikael Yasharala, the water for becoming a Sakari Flexer. All praises to Water for supporting the channel. Go back after this show and get that exclusive content, member only content. So much hot heat. I want to make it public soon, Lord willing, but I'm gonna allow you guys to get first dibs on that. Now, so I'm gonna play this video, and he's going to go into the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. Now, remember, our friend Dr. Brown is a Messianic Jew who would agree that he believes in the Christianity, the dogmatic rhetoric and tenets of that religion. And then he's a Jew, secondly. This is what he would say. This is what he would agree on. So for a Christian to read a chapter that talks about an ethnic hierarchy, it's crazy to me, because Christianity is supposed to be all about egalitarianism, which means equality. But Isaiah 60 clearly paints a picture, an end-time picture of ethnic hierarchy and Gentiles serving the Israelites and the Israelites only having a light. He's actually about to read that. A Messianic Jew is a Jewish person who believes in the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and they believe in the New Testament. That's only 8%. Only 8% of every Jewish person living believes in the Messiah in New Testament. So let's hit that like button and let's get started.
Exodus of Jewish people coming out of the wilderness of dead religion, coming out of the wilderness of human sin and rebellion, and coming into new life in the Messiah. So let's look at Isaiah chapter 60. Arise, shine, for your...
And this is what happens, and even with the Israelites, I'll put us in there. What happens is this: when a Jewish person starts to become a Christian, there's a clash. There's a clash between his heritage and then this man-made religion known as Christianity that's not based on the Bible. See, a Jewish person would literally have to go against most of the Bible to be a Christian. And sometimes, a lot of times there's this clash, and you'll either accidentally conflict with the Bible or you'll accidentally conflict with the religion Christianity. And that's just like Israelites. When Israelites say they're Christians, like our brothers who, are teaching Gentiles can be saved and all of that, or they believe that in the Trinity, or crazy, the law is done away with. And, so there's a confliction there because you have the Bible, what the Bible's saying, and then you have what Christianity is saying. So this is why we have to come out of that white supremacist cult known as Christianity and only base our faith off of what thus saith the Lord, what the Bible is saying. So let's continue. So he's going to go into Isaiah 60. Bad news bears.
It has dawned, chapter 60. Arise, shine, for your light has dawned. Well, who's it talking about? Well, if you go back to Isaiah 59, I'm going to start reading in verse 20. He shall come as a redeemer to Zion, to those in Jacob who turn back from sin. Who's Jacob? Jacob's Israel. Is the church the new Jacob? No. Do believers say we're the new Jacob, the spiritual Jacob? No.
So no. So I do take that back. I would say the Protestants run Christianity. They're the majority. That's what I would say. I could be wrong, but at least over here on the West, all right, they all believe the church has replaced bloodline Israel. Now, I will give Dr. Brown credit because he's saying that no, the church doesn't replace Israel. Israel still gets the promises. So he would fall in line more with the dispensationalist kind of, because dispensationalists don't have to be Jewish. They could just be Christians that believe the promises are still to Israel, right? So he doesn't believe that when it comes to Christianity. But he's saying that the light is coming to ethnic Israel.
Jacob is Israel, the Jewish people, all right? So here the Messiah will come as a redeemer to Zion, to those in Jacob who turn back from sin. So this is the future redemption of Israel. the national turning of Israel at the end of the age that Paul speaks of, quoting these very verses from Isaiah 59 in Romans, the 11th chapter. Verse 21, and this shall be my covenant with them, who? The children of Jacob, Israel, the Jewish people, said the Lord. My spirit which is upon you, and the word which I have placed in your mouth shall not be absent from your mouth, nor from the mouth of your children, or from the mouth of your children's children, said the Lord, from now on for all time. So God will keep and preserve his people Israel, his Jewish people. He will keep them and preserve them. Here's a promise from then and for all time. Now, here's a word to Israel in the midst of darkness and oppression. Chapter 60, verse 1.
Now he says, chapter 60, verse 1. Now, oh, this is bad. This is bad, my dear friend, because he's saying that Isaiah 60 and 1 is a message, is end time prophecy. He says all of Isaiah 60 is an end time prophecy. That's facts. And he says in the beginning is talking about Israel in a place of darkness and oppression. That's also facts. But that can't be your people, though. I mean, you can say they're in darkness because they don't believe in the Messiah. You can say that. You can say they're in darkness because they're all wicked and they really are not keeping Torah. That's a fact. What, 60% of the Jewish community are secular? They don't believe in any God at all. But the oppression part, come on now. Are we going to sit up here and tell the whole world that Jewish people today are oppressed? Is that what we're going to do? I mean, billions of dollars in aid, Iron Dome, military might, sovereignty, autonomy, most millionaires per capita. Talk about NFL, NBA team owners, you name it, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the red media. I got a whole list of everything they own, movie companies, record execs, record label executives. Come on. Let's be real. Now they are doing the oppressing though. That's the crazy part. They are doing the oppression right now. Let's continue though.
Israel in the midst of darkness and oppression. Chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has dawned. The presence of the Lord has shone upon you. Behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and thick clouds the peoples. But upon you the Lord will shine, and his presence shall be seen over you.
Now, I will say this, everybody. I'm going to let it play. I know some of you guys be like, Deacon, just let it play. But please, as I let it play, I want you guys to just pay close attention how he's just going to gloss over very important details of the kingdom of heaven. You know why? Because it hurts the doctrine of Christianity. He already should have said, he already said only the Israelites get the light. He already said that, but that's not something to just breeze past. That literally means only Israelites get the light. That's something that Gentiles don't get. That should be harped on. So he's making small mentions of it, but he doesn't want to get any backlash. Or maybe I don't know. I just feel like, in my opinion, something important like that needs to be harped on. And the only reason you wouldn't, because it might hurt somebody's feelings. But let's continue.
Nations shall walk by your light. So notice, Israel does not become the nations, and the nations don't become Israel. And as you read in messianic passages like Zechariah 12 and 14, which speak of all the nations of the world coming to attack Jerusalem at the end of the age, and the Jewish people in Jerusalem looking to their Messiah who returns, and his feet step foot laying on the Mount of Olives. It's the survivors of the nations that attacked Jerusalem that now enter Jerusalem to worship. The survivors could have been the ones who stood with Israel and stood with persecuted Jews around the world. Many would interpret it in that way. So nations shall walk by your light, kings by your shining radiance. Raise your eyes and look about. They have all gathered and come to you. Your sons shall be brought from afar, your daughters like babes on shoulders. In other words, Jewish exiles being brought back Who's bringing back? The Gentile nations that now fear God. As you behold, you will glow, your heart will throb and thrill, for the wealth of the sea shall pass on to you, the riches of nations shall flow to you.
That's hold on. That's very important, Dr. Brown. So if you do respond to this, maybe I'll email my video to you. Can you let the Christians know that those Christians, those non-Israelites who are in the kingdom of heaven, they are going to give all their riches and glory to bloodline Israel. That's them. The bloodline Israelites are not going and giving their riches to the Gentile nations. The Gentile nations are bringing all their riches and their glory to the bloodline Israelites. That's serving us. That's serving the Israelites.
Will throb and thrill, for the wealth of the sea shall pass on to you, the riches of nations shall flow to you. Dust clouds of camels shall cover you, dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. They shall all come from Sheba. They shall bear gold and frankincense and shall herald the glories of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be assembled for you. The rams of nearby oats shall serve your needs. They should be welcome offerings on my altar, and I will add glory to my glorious house.
Dr. Brown, most Christians and some stupid ass Israelites like GMS, they don't believe there's going to be an actual physical temple in the kingdom. Because of one, can you imagine reading one verse in Revelation, then saying, oh, to hell with the rest of the 1,000 scriptures that talk about a third physical temple? But Dr. Brown, certain Christians like GMS, Israelites, and the whole rest of Christianity, they don't believe in an actual physical temple. What do you believe? Because you're reading about nations bringing actual animal sacrifice and offering it up. And it talks about his house. This is all literal. It can't be literal here, literal there, and then some spiritual here, and then literal here, literal there, and then some spiritual here. So are you going to harp on the fact that Isaiah 60 is depicting a third physical temple?
Who are these that float like a cloud, like doves to their coats? Behold, the coastlands await me, with ships of Tarshish in the lead, to bring your sons from afar, and their silver and gold as well, for the name of the Lord your God, for the Holy One of Israel, who has glorified you. Aliens.
Hold on. See, we can't just read by that. Look, it says these other nations are going to bring our sons, they're going to bring their silver and their gold, because he hath glorified us. So who gets glorified? Us, the Israelites, or the other nations? These are things that we need to take our time and harp on, Dr. Brown. I would have liked a more critical exegete of Isaiah 60 instead of just a gloss through.
For the name of the Lord your God, for the Holy One of Israel, who has glorified you. Aliens shall rebuild your walls.
Uh-oh.
So these are foreigners, Gentiles, standing with Israel, which still has a destiny and purpose at the end of the age.
Dr. Brown, that verse didn't say they're going to stand with Israel. The verse says, and sons of strangers shall build your walls. We're not doing anything. That didn't mean stand with Israel. That means put heavy bricks on your shoulders, heavy bricks on your head, and build up a glorious kingdom. That's laborious work. That's what non-Israelites get to do.
Aliens shall rebuild your walls. So these are foreigners, Gentiles, standing with Israel, which still has a destiny and purpose at the end of the age. Their king shall wait upon you. For in anger I struck you down, but in favor I take you back. So yes, we've been under judgment. Yes, we've been under the anger of the Lord.
What judgment and anger? I got a book right here called The History of the Jews, and he's speaking of the Jews from medieval times till now, and he talks about everywhere they went, they were successful, business owners. And when they got kicked out of one place, they went to the other place and got riches and glory.
But in the end, there's restoration and mercy. Your gates shall always stay open. Day and night they shall never be shut, to let in the wealth of the nations with their kings in procession.
What does it mean with your kings in procession? What does it mean with your kings in procession? Oh, what does that mean with your kings in procession? Let's get Isaiah 60:11. Let's do some comparative translation. Watch this, everybody. What does it mean with your kings in procession? Look at this. So the Gentiles bring the wealth to the Israelites. It says, their kings led in triumphal procession. This means when an ancient kingdom conquered another kingdom, they would put their higher ups, their royalties, in chains and slavery and march them through the city to show how victorious you were over that kingdom. This is exactly what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. The kings of the earth are going to be put in chains to symbolize that we conquer these other nations and they're going into captivity. Look at these other translations. Kings of the world will be led as captives in a victory procession. See, look at how can the translators of the NLT even be Christians? Why translating this as accurate as it could be, might I add. This is crazy. How could you still be a Christian and translate this verse as such? The kings of the world will be led as captives in a victory procession? How? Kings led in procession. Kings led in procession. Bringing the forces of the Gentiles. Kings in procession. So the NLT has the best translation on this. Oh, here's the ASV. Here's the American Standard Version. It says, bring unto thee the wealth of the nations, and their kings led captive. And their kings led captive. A humiliating parade, exactly. Oh, look at the Aramaic Bible in plain English. Look at the Aramaic Bible in plain English. And the armies of the Gentiles shall enter you, and their kings when they are led captive. Damn. Look at the Brenton Septuagint translation. Bring into the power of the Gentiles and their kings as captives. Wow. What does the JPS Tanakh say? Okay, the JPS Tanakh says in their kings in procession. Okay, so let's go back here.
They shall never be shut, to let in the wealth of the nations with their kings in procession. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. The majesty of Lebanon shall come to you.
Who thinks that he should have expounded on that? Now, he's already teaching Gentiles will serve Israelites, even because he said this is future prophecy, and he's just reading, he's barely exegeting it. But who thinks that should have been harped on the most? Watch this. Let's listen again.
You shall perish with your kings in procession. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. For the nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed.
One more time.
The nation or the kingdom that does not serve you shall perish. Such nations shall be destroyed. The majesty of Lebanon shall come to you. cypress and pine and box to adorn the site of my sanctuary.
So that was very important. Now, he already admits this is end time prophecy. And it says, the nation in Canaan that will not serve you, those nations shall utterly be destroyed. Sister Perez, the water for the super chat donation. Greatly appreciate you, my dear beloved sister. Somebody said reading his own judgment. Ain't that funny? Reading his own eulogy, huh? Now, I'm going to stay in Isaiah because he said a deep dive into Isaiah. That's the title of his video. Now, I don't know if he's going to go into other verses in Isaiah, but other chapters in Isaiah talk about the Gentiles serving in the kingdom of heaven. But to read this and not expound on it, because it would hurt and conflict with his Christian ideology. It literally says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. The thee is the Israelites. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. This is Gentiles serving the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. Right? Continuing on.
Come to you, cypress and pine and box to adorn the site of my sanctuary, to glorify the place where my feet rest. Bowing before you shall come the children of those who tormented you. Prostrate at the soles of your feet shall be all those who reviled you, and you shall be called city of the Lord.
Hold on.
At the soles of your feet shall be all those who reviled you, and you shall be called city of the Lord.
Dr. Brown, you're reading this. You said it's a future prophecy. That means all the people who reviled, because you believe you're the Jew, all the people who reviled you guys are going to come bowing down unto you. This is ethnic hierarchy and superiority. Reyes 144, the water for the super chat donation. Greatly appreciate you, King. What is he reading right here? He's reading, verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of your feet. All these nations are bowing down to the Jews. Teach that. Teach that. Go into it, Dr. Brown. Hey, you're bringing it out, brother. You're going into it, my man.
At the soles of your feet shall be all those who reviled you, and you shall be called city of the Lord, Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas you have been forsaken, rejected, with none passing through, I will make you a pride everlasting, a joy for age after.
Hold on. That's key. Whereas thou have been forsaken and hated. Who is that? Now you might say there's some hate for y'all. You might could say that, but not enough hate to enslave y'all for 500 years, strip you of your language and nationality and heritage, and not know who you are, with no homeland to go back to, with no legislation to protect you, with no reparations to give you. Huh? So that no man went through thee. You know what that means? That means nobody would help the Israelites. You have the world power America giving y'all 10 billion in aid annually. I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Mark 8 and 35. Mark 8 and 35. You're welcome to come on the show if you like. Let's continue.
Passing through, I will make you a pride everlasting, a joy for age after age, and you shall suckle the milk of the nations, suckle at royal breasts, and you shall know that I, the Lord and your Savior, I, the mighty one of Jacob, am your Redeemer.
You see that? They're gonna rob the nations. The Israelites are gonna spoil the nations. That should have been harped on, Dr. Brown. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breast of kings. What does this mean? That they're gonna get spoiled for their precious metals and resources. and thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy God, the Savior, even the mighty one of Jacob.
Instead of copper, I'll bring you gold. Instead of iron, I'll bring silver. It goes on and on. Verse 19, no longer shall you need the sun for light by day, nor shining of the moon.
Whoa. 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 Did you guys see that? I didn't even catch that. There's a verse that I bring out every week at camp since the Palestinian and Israeli war, and it's Isaiah 60 and 18. This proves that there will always be war in Israel until the real Israelites get back to the land. Isn't it a coincidence that he skipped past the verse that I've been bringing out at camp every week since the beginning of the war? What? How? Hold on. He did that.
You shall know that I, the Lord, am your Savior. I, the mighty one of Jacob, am your Redeemer. Instead of copper, I'll bring you gold. Instead of iron, I'll bring silver.
So instead of copper, I'll bring you gold. Instead of iron, I'll bring you silver, right? He reads verse 17, and then he skips past verse 18. Because that proves there will always be war over there till the real Israelites are there. And he goes right to verse 19. Watch. As he's reading it, I'm going to go to the screen so you guys can see it. I'm not lying.
Pride everlasting, a joy for age after age. And you shall suckle the milk of the nations, suckle at royal breasts. And you shall know that I, the Lord, am your Savior. I, the mighty one of Jacob, am your Redeemer. Instead of copper, I'll bring you gold. Instead of iron, I'll bring silver. It goes on and on. Verse 19, no longer shall you need the sun for light by day, nor shining of the moon.
So he said it goes on and on and on, and he just skipped verse 18. 18 says, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gates praise. And he skips to verse 19.
No longer shall you need the sun for light by day, nor shining of the moon for radiance by night, for the Lord shall be your light everlasting. On and on. Verse 21, your people, all of them righteous, shall possess the land for all time. Okay, that hasn't happened yet. So that's a picture of the church? No, it's a picture about the future of Israel. The prophet's explicit.
Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. He said verse 21 hasn't happened yet. Okay. All right. Let me calm down. Look at what verse 21 says, everybody. Thy people also shall be all righteous. Watch the second part though. They shall inherit the land forever. I thought they inherit the land already forever. Remember, this works for us. Remember, Dr. Brown, in your book, you said never again. And that's a phrase that you guys use, never again, meaning you guys would never go back into exile. So why would there be a future prophecy saying the Israelites will inherit the land forever if they're already in the land and you guys go by the phrase never again? 2E6, the water for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. This is good. This is good. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified.
Picture of the church, land for all time, on and on. Verse 21, your people, all of them righteous, shall possess the land for all time. Okay, that hasn't happened yet. So that's a picture of the church? No, it's a picture about the future of Israel. The prophet's explicit. When does it happen? Well, the millennial kingdom, that's why we believe in a millennial kingdom. That's when these prophecies come to pass. Now, when we come back, I want to tie in a New Testament verse that will really make this clear. Maybe a light will go on as we share. So there is a future purpose for Israel, according to the prophets. And I can read verse after verse after verse after verse after verse. We're going to read more. I told you, deep dive, we're going to read more. But, key thing is, the prophecies haven't yet been fulfilled. There remains a purpose for Israel, and Israel distinct from the nations. Has that happened? No. Will it? Yes.
Hey, and I'm with you, Dr. Brown. Only thing I disagree with is who you say the Israelites are. But you did say a lot of us are the Israelites. I don't believe a lot of you guys are the Israelites, though. that's the only thing. You said a lot of us are the Israelites. We proved that during the debate. But I don't believe a lot of you guys are the Israelites, period. I also believe there's going to be, even though you read it, I know you don't believe it, because a lot of Christians are like that. A lot of Christians they read the Bible and then they disagree with the Bible. I believe there's going to be hard bondage for the Gentiles. You may believe they're just going to serve the Israelites. That's still an ethnic hierarchy, though. But chains and captives, that's not like house servants. You may believe the Gentiles are only going to be house servants. We don't believe the Gentiles are only going to be house servants. We believe, as it is written, it says captives in chains. Right? So since he's going into Isaiah, we're going to see what else he pulls in Isaiah. But I got some stuff in Isaiah proving that, yes, they're going to serve in hardcore bondage. So let's skip past his commercial. Okay, there we go.
As we look at some key passages in Isaiah about the end of the age and see that Israel does yet have a distinct purpose as a nation, as a people. Yes, salvation is only through the blood of Messiah. Yes, in Jesus, Jew and Gentile are alike. We are one in the Messiah.
You see that, guys? Oh my God. This is why you can never be a Jew, even Jewish, right? You can never be Jewish and a Christian because it's going to conflict. You can never be a Hebrew Israelite and a Christian because it's going to conflict. You can't say in one breath, Dr. Brown, and read how they're going to serve, and the Israelites only get the light, and they're the only ones getting glorified in Isaiah 60, then say the Jews and Gentiles are both alike. They're not alike. One gets the light, one don't. One is serving the other, one's not.
Distinct callings and graces, but we are one. We are equals, no caste. We may have distinct callings and graces, but we are one. We are equals, no caste system, no class system in the Messiah.
He's literally saying there's no hierarchy. Then why is one serving the other? You just read that and said it.
One in him, all Jewish and Gentile believers together are sons of Abraham, some physical and spiritual, some spiritual only, but all his spiritual sons, his family, and ultimately God's family, co-heirs with the Messiah. That doesn't get any better than that, any more glorious than that.
If they're co-heirs, Dr. Brown, please explain this to me. Please, if you're watching. If they're co-heirs, then why are you isolating specific promises only and exclusively to Israel? Why don't the church get those? If they're co-heirs, it can't make sense. This is literally insane. If they're co-heirs, that means they get all the heirs and promises that the Israelites get. But you're reading specific exclusive promises that go only to Israel.
And yet, Israel still has a purpose. Why? Because Romans 11:29, the gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. So God gifted Israel in certain ways, and those gifts continue to be manifest. And he called Israel, and that calling remains. Not a calling to salvation. That is a calling in Jesus. That is an election in Jesus to salvation, but a calling, an election for service, for a purpose, which is not that hard to grasp if we just step back and put aside some of our wrong theological thinking or historic or inherited theological thinking. Hey, quick reminder, everyone that tunes in at the bottom, did I say men coming to faith earlier? So that's in the 2nd chapter when he preaches at Pentecost Shavuot. And he says this man, whom you see and know, was made strong. It is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that is completely healed.
I'm trying to get back to Isaiah. I'm trying to get back to him going to, because it's called a deep dive into end time prophecies. And this is where we get the Christians, because they don't really understand the end time prophecies, right? This is where we specialize at through the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh. So I want to go get back. He's reading Acts right now. We want to get back to Isaiah.
You can all see. Now, fellow Israelites, I know that you acted in ignorance, as did your leaders. But this is how God fulfilled what he had foretold through all the prophets. God promised he would do this in the past. The Messiah was to be born in Bethlehem. He was. The Messiah was to have a supernatural birth. He did. The Messiah was to be rejected by his own people. He was. The Messiah was to die a criminal's death. He did. The Messiah was to rise from the dead. He did. I want to be identified with Jacob. Okay, well, hang on. No. When he speaks of Zion, when he speaks of Jerusalem, there are promises for a literal Israel, a restored Israel. This, I'm talking about the early centuries of the church. He said in a return, this is the church age. And then once the church is taken out, if he changed things, he wasn't the Messiah. He said, don't think I came to abolish the law of the prophets, meaning the fullness of the Old Testament revelation. I didn't come to abolish, but to fulfill, right? So what did he do, for example, with don't murder? Did he say, well, these people and these entities, let's look at one other verse from the New Testament, then we go back to Isaiah.
There we go.
And that's, look at those to whom James writes in Isaiah. Romans, the 11th chapter, Paul says this, verse Jews, right? He calls them Gentiles, people of the nations. I'm talking to you, Gentiles. Inasmuch as I'm the apostle to the Gentiles, I take pride in my ministry in the hope that I may somehow arouse my own people to envy and...
Marcus Fair at the water for the super chat, brother. Greatly appreciate you. I'm trying to get where he gets back to Isaiah, y'all. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear end time prophecy.
So in the Messiah, the ecclesia are one into the world, how God, including the destiny of Israel, which Jesus reinforces, which Paul reinforces, which Peter reinforces, which the New Testament at the end.
Hold on.
Fire.org as we free. If I get first one, I on the emails right on the homepage there. All right, going back to Isaiah, but I promised I'd read from some early church leaders. Justin Martyr, first century, died 165.
I don't care about
he
Justin
held
Martyr.
that the tribes of Israel would be gathered, restored. Nation of Ethiopia shall even so come to the Lord. Israel. Origin, who got around to be taken as denoting those who will, and the salvation of Israel. The Jews, also the Jews, he linked the coming salvation of the Lord, but returning, and who shall then be. So he believed in a final turning of the Jewish people, which means, so now we go back to Isaiah.
All right, here we go.
And this is an interesting passage.
Okay, like I haven't watched this whole video. I did see a bit and piece of him going into Isaiah 60. I said, oh, we got to talk about this. So I don't know where else he's going in Isaiah. So we're going to find out.
It's a call. And some say it's the prophet speaking. But a strong case can be made that it's God speaking, not God speaking through the prophet, but God himself speaking first person. Isaiah 62, for the sake of Zion, I will not be silent. Well, go through the book of Isaiah, look at every reference to Zion, Jerusalem.
Now this is good because he's calling it a deep dive into Isaiah. It's really a deep dive into a wading pool. But yeah, we want to know are you Dr. Michael Brown or are you Dr. Tunnel Brown? We want to know about the tunnel, which we're going to talk about Friday, Lord willing. He has Isaiah 62. I forgot about that. So I want to pull that up. I had Isaiah 61, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 49. So I want to get Isaiah 62, which this is a really good one as well. I've seen some Christians get done dirty on this topic. So I want to see what verse is he going to start at here. I've seen some Christians get done dirty with Isaiah 62.
This speaking of a physical city.
All in Isaiah is talking about Gentiles serving Israelites in the kingdom.
Representing the people as a whole, but a physical city, Jerusalem. For the sake of Zion, I will not be silent. For the sake of Jerusalem, I will not be still, till her victory emerge resplendent and her triumph like a flaming torch. Nations shall see your victory, and every king your majesty, and you should be called by a new name which the Lord himself shall bestow. Okay, so the nations are not Israel, and Israel is not the nations. This is the same with prophecy after prophecy after prophecy. There are prophecies to Israel and prophecies to the nations. And they find their fullness in one body, one family, but the nations are still the nations. Revelation 22 says that the kings of the nations will bring their glory into the New Jerusalem. In other words, there are still distinct ethnicities and backgrounds and diversity, each with a calling and purpose, with Israel having its distinct purpose, and all of us finding that fullness ultimately through Jesus.
Hello? Who? My apologies, y'all. Is that them? Yeah. My apologies, y'all. All right, my bad, y'all. I got a little girl who needs to be picked up at school, but we got that handled.
Nations shall see your victory, and every king your majesty, and you should be called by a new name which the Lord himself shall bestow. You shall be a glorious crown in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the palm of your God. Nevermore shall you be called forsaken, nor shall your land be called desolate, but you shall be called, I delight in her, Hephzibah, and your land espoused, Beulah. For the Lord takes delight in you, and your land shall be espoused. As a youth espouses a maiden, your son shall espouse you. As a bridegroom rejoices over a bride, so your God rejoice over you. Upon your walls, O Jerusalem, which Jerusalem? The Jerusalem, physical, earthly Jerusalem. Upon your walls, O Jerusalem, I have set watchmen who shall never be silent by day or by night. O you, the Lord's remembrancers. In other words, you who put the Lord in memory, Maskirei Adonai.
Hold on, let me go to Isaiah 62. Because okay. So that's not really talking about servitude, but it is talking about the Israelites. It is talking about the bride, us being the bride. Yeah, it is talking about us being the bride. That's true. But what are some other scriptures in Isaiah that talk about Gentile serving, like Isaiah 60 does, the one Dr. Brown brought out, is Isaiah 61 and 5 and 6. Or no, 61 and 4. And they shall build the old waste cities, and they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And the strangers, the heathens, shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. This is all kingdom connotation, and this is the heathen serving the Israelites, right? Now in Isaiah 14 and verse 2, it says, this is a future prophecy about the Israelites, and it says, verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Where's everybody else at? Where's Samaya?
She didn't go to school.
I asked you, was it you, Samaya, and KJ?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that.
All right. So it says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and for handmaids. These strangers will be a possession to the Israelites. They will be servants and handmaids. This is a future prophecy. You cannot rewrite this. I did not rewrite this. I didn't write this. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is future prophecy. Now, some silly Christians will try to say, oh, this happened during Babylon, or when we came back from Babylon. But how? When we were still in slavery during the Persian period. We already read that yesterday, Nehemiah 9 and Ezra 9. So that's out the window. That would be very ignorant and stupid of you to even make that argument. In Isaiah 49, we see the Gentiles serving the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. Now, this is a deep dive into Isaiah. Isaiah 49 and 22, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles. He's going to judge them and set my standard on the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. Same language as Isaiah 60. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust off thy feet. And they shall know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Verse 26, and I will feed them that oppress you with their own flesh, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine, and all flesh shall know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior, thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. So in Isaiah, it speaks explicitly of Gentiles serving Israelites, like Dr. Michael Brown agreed. and also hard bondage. So our friend Dr. Brown got some explaining to do. So that's all I had, y'all. We got to get ready for the new moon feast over here. Hit that like button on your way out. Support the ministry if it's on your heart by PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Support the ministry. Keep us up and running. And with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. We do so by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Until next time, y'all, Shalom.